Last Friday night, this pub took £4,000 in one evening. Every table full, 3 deep at the bar. The owner made about £60. Not 60 an hour, £60 for the whole night. And this is a well-run pub. Tonight we follow the other £3,940 and find out why the British pub is quietly broken. Start with your pint. The average lager now costs £5.17. In London, closer to £6.75. Before the pub touches a penny, value-added tax takes 20%. Then beer duty takes its slice on every single pint. In fact, of every £3 you spend in a pub, £1 goes straight to the taxman. Then there's the beer itself. Wholesale costs now swallow around 41 pence of every pound before a single pint is pulled. But what a pub pays for beer depends on a question most drinkers never ask. Who actually owns the building? Thousands of British pubs don't belong to the person behind the bar. They belong to giant pub companies you've barely heard of. The landlord is a tenant, and the deal is called the tie. It sounds generous. The rent is set below the market. In exchange, the tenant must buy every barrel from the pub company at prices far above what the open market charges. Some tenants pay more for beer wholesale than the supermarket down the road charges you at retail. Sit with that for a second. Now stack the wages. Staff costs take another 31 pence in every pound, and they have risen every single year. Then energy, cellar cooling, kitchens, 100 light bulbs, then insurance, waste, music licenses, and a sports subscription running into thousands. And business rates, charged on what the building could turn over, not what it earns. Pub rateable values just jumped 30%. Add it all up, and the average British pub keeps around 12 pence of profit from each pint it sells. 12 pence on a £5.17 pint. That is a margin of just over 2% on a good week. Now that £4,000 Friday makes sense. 2% of a brilliant night is about 60 quid. But here's the part almost nobody talks about, and it starts the day a pub finally pulls its last pint. For companies that own thousands of these buildings, a struggling pub isn't entirely bad news. Because a closed pub releases something valuable: the building. On a decent plot, a dead pub can be worth more as flats than it ever was serving beer. When a tenant burns out and hands back the keys, the freeholder still holds an appreciating asset. Heads they win, tails they don't lose. The tenant usually put their life savings in. They get no property upside, just the profit and loss we walked through. And once a pub is converted into housing or offices, it almost never comes back. The plot is gone for good. In the first 3 months of this year alone, 161 pubs closed. That is 2 every single day. Since the year 2000, Britain has lost 15,000 pubs. 1 in every 4 has gone for good. Not because people stopped going. Trade is often brisk. They close because of who captures the money when people do. So why is any pub still standing? The survivors share a pattern. Free houses with no tie, buying beer at market prices. Food-led pubs, where margins run far higher than drinks. And community-owned pubs, where the village bought the building itself. Next time you're at the bar, do the maths and tip your landlord. Next week, we autopsy a business that ran out of road.